Okay, now this was really interesting. Let me see. I wanted to share my screen a little bit because I wanted to show you guys some of these techniques that I felt like the Buddhist monks use and the Shaolin monks use as far as like handling extreme conditions and stuff like that. I almost forgot about these videos. These are pretty inspiring. Let me see if I can share my screen.
Who follows or practices martial arts
Okay,
knows that martial artists can condition their bodies to the point where they can break boards and even bricks with their hands, feet, and heads. Just imagine those feats and amplify them tenfold, and you'll get a picture of monks doing some crazy-ass stunts, courtesy of a transformation known as the Iron Body. For example, one video features a monk cracking a brick in half with the flat of his hand. Number 2. A sixth sense. While people are familiar with the 5 senses of sight, hearing, touch, taste, and smell, Buddhists believe in a sixth sense, our minds. While this is a gross simplification, the Buddhist idea of the mind as a sixth sense is a sensory power that can be developed to detect danger when there is no visible sign, and according to some beliefs, to even sense future events.
We talked about that with the clear sense.
Number 3, superhuman endurance. Running a marathon is an incredible accomplishment. Picture someone running 1,000 marathons in 1,000 days. Is such a feat possible? Is this a legend or something that's actually happened? Reporter Adharanand Finn traveled to Japan to obtain an audience with a Buddhist monk who reportedly completed this challenge. The purpose of the 1,000 days is to empty one's mind and body and seek that all-important question, why we are alive. The monk told Finn that it is only the beginning of an individual's learning experience. Number 4. Iron Skin. The Iron Body skill can be used for destructive purposes, but it can also protect a Shaolin monk from harm. One feat is the ability to seemingly place one's body on spears without harm. In one display, a monk lies on 3 spears while a colleague takes a board, places it on their back, and drives a hammer into it. The monk emerges with no sign of harm. Skeptics argue this is an illusion or that the spears are somehow gimmicked to prevent injury. If you don't believe that one, then how about this? A monk is able to take a power drill and press it against their head for 10 seconds without the drill going in. Number 5. Resisting the elements.
Now these are crazy.
If a monk can achieve a type of superhuman resistance to damage from weapons, what about one of mankind's greatest natural enemies, the elements themselves? Apparently, monks have developed techniques for toughening their bodies to resist the cold. This ability is part of a meditative practice known as Tummo, aka inner fire.
But you see why meditation is so important to all of this? Meditation is a big part of, intensifying these senses and these superpowers.
According to the site Wim Hof Method, Tummo exists of a combination of breathing and visualization techniques used to enter a deep state of meditation that is used to increase a person.
He believes he can do it, and that's how he can do it. When you doubt, you can't do it. So, but you have to really build up to it.
Inner heat. This inner heat enables someone to control one's body temperature. For example, keeping the body warm in cold conditions. Number 6. Drying wet objects.
This is so crazy.
If monks are capable of resisting extreme cold, it's also not a stretch to believe that they have some sort of ability to generate heat. This feat was observed by researchers from Harvard University and included the following. In a monastery in northern India, thinly clad Tibetan monks sat quietly in a room where the temperature was a chilly 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Using a yoga technique known as Ji Tummo, they entered a state of deep meditation. Other monks soaked 3 by 6 foot sheets in cold water and placed them over the meditator's shoulders. For untrained people, such frigid wrappings would produce uncontrolled shivering. If body temperatures continue to drop under these conditions, death can result. But it was not long before steam began rising from the sheets.
But isn't that something that these people have learned to use their mind and body in such a way where they can protect themselves from things that would kill them? Those are the ultimate superpowers, that you can do it if you want to train that hard. That's what I'm saying. We want to have the best of things in life, but we don't want to do the work. I don't know if I could ever do the work to study, to do that. It might take them many, many, many years to learn how to do that, but it does work. We've seen multiple times. We've seen people in martial arts do amazing feats, so it can be done. It's just you got to do the work. If you want to be have superpowers like that, you got to do the work.
As a result of body heat produced by the monks during meditation, the sheets dried in about an hour. Number 7. Slowing your metabolism. If you look at these feats, you'll notice the common thread of monks somehow exercising complete control over their body's functions. Should it be any surprise that monks can also slow down their body's metabolism? According to one report, a group of monks in India were shown to be able to slow their metabolism down by 64% while maintaining consciousness, something that allowed the monks to go without any food for extended periods of time that would see the average person starve to death. Number 8. Immortality.
And just a little fun fact that a lot of and I'll talk about this a little bit later, but a lot of spiritual practices talk about fasting because fasting is self-discipline, and in Buddhist culture, they believe that if you starve yourself within an inch of your life, that you're going to get all these spiritual revelations and powers and stuff like that. It's very fascinating.
While the concept of a human being living forever is found in several world religions, the idea of attaining immortality on Earth seems far-fetched. Consider the story of Dashi Dorshu Itigliov, a famous spiritual figure in Tsarist Russia. The famous Lama died in 1927, the year after warning Buddhist monks to leave the Soviet Union because they would be overwhelmed by red teaching. His final request was to be buried in the lotus position in which he had died. When his remains were examined in 1955 and again in 1973, the monks were astonished to note no signs of decay. In September 2002, Itigilov's body was exhumed once more in the presence of the leaders of the Buddhist Traditional Sangha of Russia. It was closely examined by monks as well as by scientists and pathologists. The remains were found to be in the condition of someone who had died 36 hours ago. Extraordinarily well preserved and without signs of decay. Muscles and inner tissue.
So that's crazy. And I've even heard stories about Buddhist masters and different people that practice that, of where they can say the hour of their death and create it to, and control their body functions where they can stop everything and they create their hour of their death. So it's very deep. So I'm gonna stop right there with that one. But so you get what I'm saying about that there are real superpowers.